Hey everyone, Jeff Sheets here for TrueFire. Today we've got 3 great beginner blues lessons for you here in TrueFire's Guitar Shed. Now these individual lessons were taken from full courses that you can find at TrueFire. So if you want to check the full course out, just follow the links below. That's also where you can find the tab and jam tracks for any of these lessons. If you're a beginning blues player, you're going to want to know your minor pentatonic scale. Now, if we play it down in our open position, starting with our 6th string open, which is E, that will give us our E minor pentatonic scale. It's going to sound like this. And then right back down the scale. So you've heard a ton of open position licks in blues. Licks like those, right? So in this first lesson, Corey Congilio is going to show us a simple lick in that position, but the cool thing about this is you'll be able to play the lick over the entire 12-bar blues progression. So let's check it out.
Lick number 4 is Open Mind. We're in the open string area of our guitar here in the key of E. I love playing in the key of E because I can utilize those open strings. Licks like this just kind of always have a super swampy, funky nature to them. So work on this one and kind of see how that scale works with the open strings. Hopefully we'll really be able to get that under our fingers quickly and have some fun with it. So let's try this one in the key of E and use some open strings. Okay, let's talk about this lick in the key of E, and I love the key of E for anything blues guitar related because I get to use open strings quite exclusively. And they just have a great sound, a great ring to them, and let's talk about how we're going to make this lick come to life. First of all, we're going to get started on the 1st string, 3rd fret. Just play those first 2 quarter notes, 1, 2. And then just play the 1st string open, then down to the 2nd string, 3rd fret. Then you're going to go to the 3rd string open. And then once you do that, you'll end on the E string, on the E note on the 4th string, 2nd fret. So let's put all those tiny pieces together. So 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. And let's talk about how to bring it to life one step further. And this is such an important thing in our blues guitar playing is the use of vibrato. When I play this E note here on the 4th string, I have my other finger, my 1st finger behind it for some strength. And I'm just going to ever so slightly pull down on it. And the string, again, will naturally kind of pull back to where it's tuned. So you pull down and release. And keep this 1st finger and this thumb right where it's at, because that's going to create a nice pivot point there. So it just adds a little bit of life and personality to that single note. So let's hear it one more time. 3, 4. Really cool idea just to use some simple open strings in the key of E, E minor pentatonic. Jump on that, start making some noise. In the key of E, it's going to work out well for you.
Another essential technique that you're going to want to master on your way to becoming a good blues player is the ability to bend notes. But there are a lot of different ways that we can bend notes. In this next lesson, Jeff McErlane is going to explain the concept of the pre-bend, and he's going to show us a really cool lick that we can use to practice this. So let's dig in.
In exercise number 4 on bending and vibrato, we're going to check out a pre-bend. And that's, we're going to bend the note first before we sound it. Now, this really relies on you being very comfortable with the hand and muscle memory of how much, in this case, a whole step bend is going to be. So let me play the lick first. One more time. Okay, so the lick very simply is, we're going to play each note. I'm going to start with a pre-bend from the C up to the D. I'm using my third finger. I would usually use my third finger on these kind of more bluesy licks. So there's my D. So I want to get that note. All right, so that's how far I have to bend, so watch. You know, sometimes you're going to be a little hair off, but if you're close, you're doing great. See, I'm just kind of, I know now because I practiced it. I've lifted my eyebrows every time I play it. Right, so. That takes some work, but it's really cool. It's a great sound. And I did the same thing here. I'm bending the G to the A, but holding that first. There's my note. A little flat that time, but in the context of the line, that's okay. What you want to avoid is, right, the sickly sound. Okay, now, those are the notes. I'm going to, once again, the C bent, pre-bend, bring it down. Now I'm going to just go down a scale to the A. Now I'm going to do the same thing here with the A note from the G bend. Now when I go to this F, I'm going to tweak it a bit. Right, it's going to bend that little bit. I'm tweaking that flat third. Gives a great bluesy sound. And by bending that little bit, it just adds a lot of flavor and emotion. And it's one way to make yourself sound really good very quickly, and that's to tweak that flatted third a bit. To my last note, and I'm going to vibrato that. So I've got a bend, once again. Nice big vibrato on that low D note. Now, also the flow of the lick. Da 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 boom. Right? So they're triplets, but you're not picking triplets, so it's da boom ba 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 boom. And it has a nice flow to it, and that's what's really going to make it work really it sound really pretty. And now sometimes you notice when I'm playing, I'm kind of moving my body. I cannot play guitar unless I'm doing that. That's how important your feel of the metronome beat is, whether it's internal or it's an actual metronome, is that needs to be internalized in your body. I very rarely see players I really like who are not expressing the time in some part of their body. Whether it's tapping your foot, which you have to do, or moving your head, or swaying your body, it makes me play better. And people who don't do that, I think you're losing out on something. Now, you don't have to make these big, huge, gestures, but, tapping my foot, moving my body a bit. So for me, the feel of what I want is in my body. I'm feeling it, which is so important. So let's take a look at that lick. Just work on those pre-bends first. Just that. See, I can start there. Little exercises like that. I can bend the note first, release, and then go back. Right? Just so I can try to nail them as close as I can each time. And you're doing a good job when your fingertips really start to hurt, because that means you're working hard.
For our final lesson in this episode, we've got a really cool thing happening because it's a different style of playing the blues, basically doing a fingerstyle blues. But if you remember the first lesson we did with Corey Congilio, where he showed us a lick basically out of our E minor pentatonic scale, in this lesson, David Hamburger is going to do a very similar lick out of the E minor pentatonic open position scale, but he's going to use it playing fingerstyle blues. And he's got this steady bass going, so that means the thumb is basically playing that low E note constantly as he plays the lick up above it. So it's a really cool technique, a little bit different than the soloing techniques we just went over in the previous two lessons. But if you like just sitting around and playing your guitar, having fun, playing some blues, this is a great lick to get down for that. So check it out.
Lick number 1 is called Going Down. We're keeping a steady bass going on the low E string, and then we're going down an E minor pentatonic scale. Let's check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what's going on in this lick is we've got the steady bass going on the low E string, and we're just counting out quarter notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And I'm doing a little palm muting. I've got my palm resting right where the string meets the bridge here, so it's a little bit thumpy. And then on top, we've got this pentatonic scale, E minor pentatonic. In general, I've got ring finger on the high string, middle finger picking the second string, index picking the third string, and then also coming over and picking the fourth string. So at the beginning, we start with a pinch. So we've got the thumb on the low string and ring finger on the high string and fretting third fret on the high string. And then right after the pinch, on the and of 1, I'm playing the open high string. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's the first measure. Now in the second measure, it's a series of pinches, and in between every pinch comes another note of the scale. So we've got so if you were counting it out, you'd have on 1 a pinch, on the and of 1 the open high string, beat 2 pinch with the third fret on the second string and the low E string. And then on the and of 2, it's the open second string. On beat 3, we've got second fret on the third string, pinch. On the and of 3, it's the open third string. And then on the downbeat of 4, we've got a pinch with the second fret on the fourth string. And on the and of 4, play that same note again. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and after that we play 2 bars just with the bass. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the whole lick. When we put it back together again, it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then keep the bass going.
Well, all right. I hope you've enjoyed these 3 beginner blues lessons here at TrueFire's Guitar Shed. Remember, if you want to check out the jam tracks and the tab and really the full course, just follow the links below. I'm Jeff Sheets. Just want to remind you to keep working out in the shed.